Hi, my name is Kelsey, and today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on leveraging the assets of English learners and building overall more strong homeschooling community connections. When I think about supporting English learners, I think it starts with our mindset. For a long time, many schools have used a deficit based model which focused on multilingual students were missing, especially in English. But an asset based approach shifts that thinking and recognizes that English learners bring extremely valuable strengths into the classroom, including their home language, cultural knowledge, life experiences, family relationships, and different ways of communicating and learning. Research and education guidance emphasize that multilingual learners bring important linguistic and cultural resources that can strengthen learning for everyone, not just themselves. Cultural influences on teaching and learning are seen in everything from how students communicate to how they show respect, participate in class, and solve problems, even make meaning of new ideas. Culture shapes how students view their schools, authorities, collaboration, language, and even what feels safe or familiar in their learning environments. Because of that, teachers cannot separate learning from culture. The role of cultural competence is to help teachers understand their own perspectives, learning about their students' backgrounds, respond in ways that are respectful, affirming, effective for English learners. Culturally responsive teaching is not just about celebrating holidays or adding a few diverse books. It's about making instruction more meaningful by connecting learning to students' identities, experiences, and communities. In my opinion, culture plays a huge role in student learning because students learn best when they feel seen, respected, and valued. If a child feels like their language or their background has to stay outside of the classroom, that can create distance and insecurity. But when students hear their names said correctly, they see their cultures represented in books and food and visuals, and are invited to share their experiences, they often begin to feel that they belong. That sense of belonging supports confidence, participation, and language development. School and classroom environments influence language acquisition because students take risks with language when they feel emotionally safe and included. To create that type of environment, teachers need to establish routines that are predictable, use visuals and modeling, encourage collaboration, and communicate that bilingualism and cultural diversity are strengths. Some strategies for supporting and celebrating cultural diversity within instruction include multicultural text, inviting students to make text to self and text to word connections, including examples from different communities, and creating opportunities for students to share their family traditions, stories, and their perspectives. We can also leverage home language and cultural assets by allowing strategic use of the home language, labeling the classroom in multiple languages, pairing students for peer support, and encouraging translinguating when appropriate, so students can process and express their ideas using their full linguistic repertoire. Instead of treating home language as a barrier, we should see it as a bridge to comprehension, participation, and identity development. Supporting English learners, we have to remember that English learners we have to remember that English learners are not all of the same. They have different strengths, needs, identities, cultural, educational histories, and levels of language development. Some may also have disabilities or other learning needs, so responsiveness means avoiding a one-size-fits-all teaching. Effective strategies include scaffolding, instruction with visuals, sentence stems, gestures, modeling, and hands-on learning, providing multiple ways for students to show understanding, and using flexible grouping that supports both language growth and academic success. For English learners with special needs, collaboration with specialists, careful observation, and culturally responsive problem solving are especially important so that we do not confuse language development with disability to overlook students who need support. There are also opportunities to support the social and emotional needs of English learners. Many ELs are navigating a new language while also balancing identity, belonging, and sometimes major life transitions. Some may feel isolated, misunderstood, or anxious about speaking in front of others. That's why relationship building matters so much. Teachers can support students by creating welcoming routines, using partner talk, honoring wait time, praising effort, and making room for students' voices and stories. I think it's especially important to build routines and procedures that are clear, calm, and consistent because predictability helps students feel secure. When students understand what to expect and know that their teacher values who they are way more likely to engage and take language risks. Understanding our students' social, emotional, and culture needs is very essential when establishing classroom routines because routines communicate what matters in the classroom. If routines only reflect one dominant way of speaking, participating, or behaving, some students may feel like they do not both fit or belong. But when routines make room for different communication styles, when understanding students' social, emotional, and cultural needs is essential when establishing classroom routines because routines communicate what matters in the classroom. If routines only reflect one dominant way of speaking, participating, or behaving, some students may feel like they do not fit, but when routines make room for different communication styles, collaboration, movement, family knowledge, and language support, students are more likely to feel included and capable. For me, this connects directly to creating a classroom where students do not feel like they have to leave part of themselves at the door in order to learn. Family and community practices, often described as funds of knowledge, can strongly influence language learning. Funds of knowledge refers to the valuable knowledge, skills, relationships, and experiences students gain in their homes and communities. These might include storytelling, problem solving, caregiving, work skills, faith, traditions, cooking, music, translation, or strong family networks. When teachers learn about these family and community assets, they build stronger relationships and connect instruction to what students already know. Research on funds of knowledge shows that this approach can strengthen trust between schools and families and improve how teachers do family involvement. Some strategies to build strong family, community, and school partnerships include clear and accessible communication, providing translated materials when possible, reaching out with positive messages and not only concerns, such as the sandwich method, inviting families to share their knowledge and experiences, and creating school events where families feel actually welcome to share their knowledge, and respected. Effective family engagement for English learners should highlight the assets of their home languages and not push families to replace them with English. Some schools can also encourage reading, storytelling, conversation, and learning in the home language because strong language development in any language supports overall growth. Teachers can also ask family about their goals, traditions, and etc. for their children to use that information to guide instruction and relationship building in the classroom. Inclusive community engagement practices can also include family literacy nights, multicultural projects, or events that go beyond food and festivals, partnerships with local organizations, and even classroom projects that honor students' neighborhoods and lived experiences. The big idea is that families should be seen as partners and experts, not outsiders, that need to be fixed or simply informed. When schools approach families with humility, respect, and curiosity, we can create stronger connections that support student learning and affirm identity. To close up, leveraging the assets of English learners means choosing to see our students through the lens of strength, dignity, and possibility. It means recognizing that language diversity, cultural values, and family knowledge are powerful resources for learning. It also means creating classrooms where students feel safe, included, and proud of who they are. As educators, we have the opportunity to help close this gap by building on what our students already bring instead of focusing on what they still need to learn. When we take asset-based and culturally responsive approaches, we are not only supporting English learners academically, but we also help them feel valued and empowered. Thank you.